We're here at the Chicago Auto Show to take a look at the 2023 Chevy Silverado. This is the electric version with 10,000 pounds of towing capacity. Now, when Ford came out with the Lightning truck, and of course you got Rivian out there and the Hummer, well, they had to now bring this to the Silverado. There's some really nice details with this vehicle. The first thing you want to check out is, I love this signature lighting. It sort of makes a statement. It turns on, it tells you what's going on, and I love how it almost greets you when you show up at the vehicle, and that's something that people want. Now, as far as range on this vehicle, they're talking about 400 miles of range. We haven't seen the actual numbers yet, which is pretty darn good. Now, if you like the Silverado trucks, you're a Chevy fan, and you're thinking about going electric, this is certainly an option to consider. So some of the features that I really like that they did with the Silverado is you can see the interior has been changed. Now, if you saw the Hummer, you can see that you've got the new 2 screens. They're larger. You're going to get the Super Cruise with this. You're going to get the longer range. And the fact is that you're not going to see a difference inside the vehicle, and you get a lot of the features from an electric charge. Now, if you're thinking about an electric vehicle, you should certainly look into this. Of course, check those insurance rates before you make a final decision. But I think this is a vehicle you need to consider. If you're looking at the Lightning, you're looking at the other vehicles, the one thing I believe you get when you're buying a Chevy or a Ford or a name brand that you know is you're going to have a network of dealers across the country, and those dealers are going to be there to help service you if you've got a problem. You buy a Cybertruck, you buy a vehicle like the Rivian, or any of the other vehicles that don't have dealer networks, that's where you're going to have the problem, and you really need to think about that. One of the things to note is the aerodynamics on this car. Now, if you remember the Chevy Avalanche, they had this type of styling on the C pillar. So the A pillar is up front, this is the B pillar, this is the C pillar, and it's not blocking your visibility. Now, one of the things about aerodynamics is you want this car as sleek as possible because you need to pull it through whatever you're driving through, dirt, mud, snow, and so that's one of the things that they thought about. All the aerodynamics in this car, they may look odd or different. It's because it's meant to make it as smooth as possible when going through the wind, so it uses less electricity, and every single detail has been thought out. One of the neat features on this vehicle is there are 6 different outlets, 3 on this side and then 3 on this side. So if you're using this as a work truck, you've got power, and I think that's one of the things you don't think about. If you're going camping, you're doing whatever it might be, and you need to plug something in, tailgating, you're going to be the person with the power. Now remember, obviously you're using the battery that you're going to use to drive home, but I'm sure you can plan that all out, and all that is built into that center screen. So you know where the charging stations are, how quick it is to charge, and what's available. And all that makes it a little bit easier for people so you don't have range anxiety, and they've really kind of thought about who's using it, and that's why the Silverado was built the way it was. One of the things I like is the fold-down seating. This is really fabulous for storage, and you get this because you don't have an engine, you don't have all the typical components that you would have. We now have a multi-tailgate, which was exclusive to GMC, but now we have it in the Chevrolet truck. And this is great. Now look at the pass-through. Whether you're bringing something, this is amazing. This pass-through, to me, I think is one of the things that makes the Silverado stand out in the crowd when you're looking at an electric vehicle. And you don't typically get that, and I think the reason for that is because you've got things in the way. You've got mechanical moving driveline components, which you don't have. So this is really nicely designed. You've got the new LED signature lights. I just love all the little detail that's in here that you typically would not see on a Chevy truck. And of course, these gigantic 24-inch alloy wheels. And of course, they're low rolling resistant Michelin tires. And the reason they use the low rolling resistant, typically run flats, but in this case, we'll probably have a tire that's not a run flat, is because you want to lighten the truck as much as possible because those batteries are heavy. So there's a lot of vehicle information on charging that we still haven't got, but we're looking at a vehicle that's going to come in around that $100,000 range. So remember, there's a lot of vehicles that are also coming in at that range. So if you want something that's a work truck that you can use every day, and you're thinking electric pickup truck, this is certainly one of the options. The one last thing I want to show you is up front because there's no motor there. This is awesome. This is your front storage or your front trunk or your frunk, you can call it whatever you want, but this could put a lot of wet gear. Notice that it's plastic lined, so if you tend to be going skiing, you can put your snow boots in there. You're going to the beach, you can put your sandy, dirty things in there, and you can hose it out. So I think that's really well thought out, and this is the kind of things that you don't get in a regular truck because typically there's an engine here, but you still have the components for adding washer fluid and a lot of the niceties of a regular vehicle, so you're not missing anything other than you're not stopping at the gas station. It's certainly an option to consider. if you're thinking about an electric truck. There'll be more information and a full review on this coming in the near future. You can find me at Car Coach Reports and all forms of social media at Lauren Fix. Don't forget to subscribe. We appreciate your support on our Patreon page. Thanks so much for watching.